There's been a beef brewing between Twiggy and Rastov, the host of Aussie. An epic feud that's been going on for months.
But there's one thing that I know for sure, right? I know you're not going anywhere. No matter how much I give you, because we have an understanding of each other. We know each other, right?
Dude, I got told that if I talked to Keem, I was fired, and that he runs the show now, and that I'm not allowed to use OBS anymore. And
yes, no, because I'm not
no,
gonna.
you told me no. You, dude, like this is pissing me off now because you told me you have an open invitation to fire me now because I quit at Fat Camp.
Wait, what the? You
yeah, he said that he's the manager now, and that you pissed off with me. And bro, are you serious right now?
He is playing you. I did not say any of this shit.
Oh, Twiggy lied?
Oh, really?
We had a conversation after he quit.
And
you told me that he was gonna fire me, and you jumped on the grenade for me. That you have open invitation to fire me at any point now. You took OBS from me and said he doesn't want me running OBS anymore. I'm not allowed to interact with the fans anymore. Are you serious, dude?
Parasocial relationships do have to be toned back.
Did you lie? Are you serious, dude?
No, I didn't lie to you. Me and Keem had a conversation the day after the quitting incident, and he told me to handle it.
So you handled it by invoking Keemstar's name, saying that you can fire him?
No, I told him. Keem put me. He basically told me that. Yeah.
What? I don't remember even talking to you about.
It was at the shuffleboard table.
And what was being okay? Go through the real conversation on what happened, and I'll tell you if this happened or not.
I was explaining what went on the night before about the holding the show hostage, threatening to leave, and then quitting the 2 nights before. And then you said you didn't have time to deal with it. You told me to handle it, and then I asked you what I was allowed to do, and you basically confirmed what I was allowed to do.
Okay, I do remember the first part of the conversation. And then I probably did say something like, I'm too busy. I can't deal with this. I mean, it is Aussie, right? I had to focus on the shows that were there. But I did not give you any permission to fire him at will and take his OBS away from him and, threaten him that you hold his job in your hands, you psychopath.
You did say this. You told me, I asked you if I could take over OBS because I didn't, regardless of what happens, I'm not going to threaten to end a stream. And you said yes. And then at one point, you told me that you were like, I don't even care.
Was I wasted?
Fire him.
I literally said I was going to go talk to him about this and clear the air, and you said I wouldn't do that, bro, because he's liable to fire you on the spot.
I said you don't. I tried to tell you not to be a Becky without saying not to be a Becky.
Rastov, I can tell you for a fact, I did not give Twiggy the power to fire you. A conversation that he's mentioning sounds similar to what I remember, but there was no Twiggy can fire you. That's just not true. And I was not trying to fire you ever, I don't think. I was pissed off that you didn't come to Fat Camp, and I was picking on you about your
fine. I deserve that.
And I'm sure I talked about you.
How much of this conversation am I allowed to talk about?
All of it, because
at one point,
want to remember.
Because it started out by me talking about the issues that we had the 2 nights before, and then you told me to handle it, and then I asked you questions about how to handle it, and then we started talking about Rastov, and you basically told me that you kind of wanted me to milk him like a lolcow. You said he could be a boogie level. And then I told you I didn't really want to go about it that way. And then I mentioned some other, the way I wanted to go about it. And you told me to do it. And then I said, what if something happens like this again? And then you said, fire him.
I really, really don't think I said that.
I don't see Keem giving you the permission to fire Rastov when it wouldn't be your place to do it.
I mean, that he had all these issues with me, but never actually said anything to me, and I'm just.
Okay, this is refreshing my mind a little bit because I do remember me telling you to pick on Rastov more, right? But our conversation wasn't serious. I thought we were joking around.
Oh, I thought you were 100% serious.
I thought we were laughing. I remember you like being like, "Look at Rastov, he's crashing out in my DMs," and you were showing me DMs. I do remember that, right?
So, Keem, did you tell Twiggy you wanted him to run the show?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Yeah, you did, because I asked you about using the OBS because I told you that whenever there was a situation that, got a little too overwhelming for Rastov, he'd threaten to end the stream, he'd kick me out, or he would, leave or end the stream.
That happened ages ago, and we stopped that stuff.
Okay, let me give Twiggy some credit. At the very beginning of this, I didn't remember this conversation at all. Now little bits of it are coming back to me, but still, I did not tell Twiggy he can fire Rastov. There's no way I did. There's no way. That wouldn't make sense. Why would I?
Yeah, he because at the time he was as long as we get back to normal, I won't have to. And this conversation we had is after he got back from Fat Camp too, so it's not like it was there and there was miscommunication. This was literally like a day
we talked about it the day after too.
This will help me out, Twiggy. What day of Fat Camp did this conversation between me and you happen?
I'd have to go back and.
It would have been the day after Becky came back.
Okay, yeah, so on the most chaotic, hectic day,
yeah,
Twiggy hits me up with some. Jordy just left our show, right? We have to deal with that. Becky's causing all kinds of problems, right? The most chaotic day of all of Fat Camp, where I'm trying to put out fires left and right. Twiggy comes to me with this. Bro, I don't even barely remember anything that was said. And there's just no way. I may have said something along the lines of, you deal with it, right? Because I didn't want to deal with the situation right then. There's no way I said fire him. There's no way.
I may have misunderstood what you said, but to me that's what it sounded like. Because I was like, well, what if this happens again? What if there is a time where he's threatening to quit or trying to use the show as leverage over me?
And did I say I would fire him or you fire him?
You said the two words, fire him.
You were probably giving, maybe you said you'd fire him or something if it came, you were probably trying to end the conversation if this did happen. You're probably
now that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now that makes sense, Billy, right? Because there was, again, this is the most chaotic day of Fat Camp.
Yeah.
And I'm getting hit with Aussie drama in the middle of this, which is like, eh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was confused, and I genuinely would never want to make a call like that. I've been very forward with anybody I've talked to about it that I need Rastov for one because I like him, two because that's the only way the show works in my opinion, because we need that dynamic because we are exact opposites. We've had issues.
So you told him, Rastov says, I might have to talk to Keem then about it when he's got some free time because I can't change my personality, dude. The things you want me to stop are literally part of who I am. There's no hidden motives or anything like that. You say, just be careful. I don't want you losing this opportunity. I've been fighting for you, but he wants you to be a lolcow.
Yes.
I remember the conversation going along the lines of Rastov was upset, crashing out at Twiggy. And I gave Twiggy advice on how to troll Rastov further. That's what I remember. I don't remember fire him. That's what I really don't remember.
Yeah, and as I said, I may have just misunderstood what you said. But all the locale stuff was definitely there because the last thing I want is for somebody to, live that lifestyle.
And even if I did say that, that's weird, right? That you would go and tell Rastov, hey, Keem gave me permission to fire you. And
well, no, I was just trying to implement some changes.
But you were implementing the changes by saying to Rastov, I have the power of your job, which isn't true. There's no way
It
that's
wasn't
true.
changes he wanted to make. It was changes that you wanted me to make because that was the only way you were going to keep me employed.
And what were the changes that I wanted you to make?
You didn't want me to interact with the fans anymore. You didn't want me to run the OBS anymore. Like,
no, the interaction with the fans was not. No,
you
said
literally said that you were pretty much the manager now.
Like
you literally said you were pretty much the manager.
Yeah, because that's what Keem told me. He told me to manage it, handle it. Both of those words came out of his mouth.
Bro, like, do you take a word, chuck it into Chat GPT, and be like, "Oh, this makes sense." Like, dude.
Okay, Twiggy. No, I remember this now. Okay, Twiggy came to me and he goes, "Look, Rastov is mad that I'm being mean to fans." And I told Twiggy, I go, "Okay, well, then troll Rastov further, and you go out of your way to talk to fans more and be way nicer to fans and make it seem like Rastov is the one that's ignoring the fans." Like, that was my troll idea for you, Rastov, right?
But the conversation was after everything else. So the part of the conversation where you told me to go in and be nicer to the fans, that was in the hallway.
There's no
Same with
way
the one
I
before
told
that.
you could fire Rastov.
You did. You did.
Keem,
No
that same night you told me I could tickle Rastov's toes.
He told you can do other stuff too.
I don't get a say
I'm
in this.
pretty sure.
Like,
I'm pretty sure your exact words were "fire him. I don't give a fuck." I'm pretty sure those were your exact words.
That's him trying to get you to stop badgering about Aussie while he's busy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's him telling you to off. He doesn't give a
Exactly.
I took it like what he said. I was genuinely trying to like make things like the best I could.
After I said it, did I immediately like start walking fast away from you?
No, so you walked, you got a drink, and then you walked into the hallway and told me your other idea to troll him.
Uh-huh.
And then we talked about that, and then I went and I don't even remember what I did after that.
So I said, fire him, right? I don't give a fuck. And then I went and I left you and went to go make myself a drink.
Yeah.
And then I came back and said, no, troll him. Be more.
Well, no, you said
Rastov
what
than
you
Rastov.
can do, what you could do was how you started that out. And then that's what I went and did. Because I even told you, like, my plan, instead of, like, doing anything...
Twiggy, you are such a piece of shit.
Why are you lying so much, bro?
I'm not lying.
Here's the thing.
Yes, you are.
Time out. Here's the thing. It could be true. It could be true. This is like some shit that I would say. Like, Billy has it right? Like, Twiggy's annoying me with some Rastov drama. And I'm like, yeah, fuck off, fire him or whatever, right? And then I go make my drink. And then I actually take time to think about what Twiggy's saying. And then I meet him in the hallway. And I'm like, you know what you should do that really fuck with Rastov? Be more Rastov than Rastov. Like, interact with the fans a lot and just like complain that Rastov doesn't have time for the fans. And that will really get underneath Rastov's skin. Because that would really like, off. I'm a troll demon. Like, I can with people, right? And so this story kind of might be true, but Twiggy does not pick up that I'm like my sarcasm or me just being like off, like.
But he's focusing on the minor points of the issue.
Oh yeah,
right? The bigger points
Twiggy,
of that. Yeah,
Twiggy,
like,
he got the green light to own you.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
we talked about a lot more than that. We talked about like we talked about me running the OBS. We talked about like just some of the weird things that were going on, and then we also talked about just stuff that had nothing to do with the show. So it was a longer conversation. It was probably, I mean, only 10 minutes, but still, you can get a lot said in 20 minutes.
And so,
10
like,
minutes.
now I'm hearing you were also shit talking me for the whole of Fat Camp as well. Like, bro, was anything you said
Not
to
all
me
of
real?
Fat Camp.
Like,
And
Yeah.
it won't
No,
just
not
me.
not
I can
all
tell
of
you
Fat
that.
Camp. As I said, it was just the days where there was drama because I was trying to like talk, like I was trying to get it out there so I could think and like figure out what was
Excuse me,
next.
The drama was over by that Friday when you did the test, okay? And I came up on
What test?
Friday, the test show.
Yeah, it wasn't. It
8-hour
wasn't.
show.
It wasn't over. I was still trying to figure out because that was the day after. That's when we had the
Okay.
conversation.
And
with
I heard
King.
it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
No,
Yes.
nope.
Because
Maybe
every
only
you
that
time
literally
you
Friday.
were
said that I
around me-
was
every time
backstabbing
you were-
you.
Every time you were
Fuck's
around
sake,
me,
bro.
like, Rastoff, this. You know that crash out was fake. You know this about Rat. And finally I was like, bro,
No, that's not
wasn't
true.
fake.
It would
Yeah,
it
that
would
is
have only
very
been that
true.
Friday because that would have been the day that me
No,
and
it
Keem
wasn't
talked
that
about
Friday.
it.
It was also
And
that
then-
Saturday too.
And then other than that, I don't know when I would have talked to you because my wife was there for the Saturday and Sunday.
I know.
And I
you
was
were
with
still
her the
talking
whole
shit.
time.
And you were still
I
talking
definitely
shit.
wasn't.
Okay, Twiggy.
Like, no, I genuinely
So do
wasn't.
you legitimately just want me gone? Do you want
No,
someone else
I've
to
literally,
fuck me on?
I've literally talked about it so
be
much how this
truthful
dynamic
about
does
it.
not
If
work.
you don't want
I
Rastoff,
am.
just say you don't want Rastoff,
I am
bro.
being genuine about it. The dynamic would not work. He is the
believe
polar
you, dude.
opposite of me.
I don't believe you anymore. You've literally lied to me again.
I just don't
I
know.
did not lie.
I actually don't know if he's lying. I
I
think
didn't lie.
I think he's taken my sarcasm and the things I said, because like the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. Like, because I remember bits and pieces, but I don't remember the fire him. But I could have. That seems like something I'd say, like as a joke.
But he said that you were super pissed off at me.
He was.
right?
You were pretty upset.
I was not super pissed off at
You literally, when I told you like what happened, you're like, "What did he do?" I told you what happened, and then you immediately like started.
I think
talking
Keem was
about how that's
probably
bullshit.
generally pissed off to be talking about Aussie at that moment, and Rastoff
that could
being
be.
part of the discussion.
On like the
was-
most stressful day of Fat Camp.
He was
too,
like, "Why am I dealing with Rastoff right now?" I could see him being angry at that.
No, the only problem, and it's what I told Keem, is that like I don't care if there's like like there's disagreements or anything like that, but when it gets to the point where the show is being held hostage over it, that's where my issue comes in.
Yes, I do remember that. That's another thing that is true.
Because that's when he told me to run OBS, and then I asked him what else he wanted me to do, and he told me to just handle it. And I told him I would handle it, but I wouldn't.
But that doesn't mean become
handling
the
it is
manager.
fabricating a story with my boss
it.
hates me.
That means handle it as in get it together with your co-host. Handle it. Be an adult and handle it with
No,
your
I
co-host.
literally asked.
Not be the manager.
I literally asked about.
That's what it means.
Okay, I am actually starting to think that Twiggy is telling the truth about his conversation with me, like all of it, right?
Bro,
But he's
you're getting
taking
gaslit,
like,
dude.
but he's taking. No, I do
Yeah.
because I'm like remembering bits and pieces of this, right? But he's taking my clear sarcasm and my clear like making jokes and like memes of the situation and my clear like off Twiggy stuff that I'm doing and like turning it into reality and then turning it into a completely different narrative to then blackmail you
Yeah.
with you.
This is what he's doing. He's taking the words that came out of your mouth and he's manipulating it to the point where you actually said those words so he gets to run with it. Not the context in what you were saying.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. He's twisting your words. He's playing wordplay.
Like any normal person would be like, wait, do I really have the power to fire Rastoff? And I'd be like, no, no.
I mean, I literally didn't even like doubt it because whenever I had my little crash out, you gave them permission to fire me, so I just thought it was like the same situation.
So apparently you also started the poaching crowns thing because you were pissed off at me as well, Keem. Is that true?
That's a good response, Twiggy, by the way. Go ahead, Rastoff. What did you say?
Did you start the whole like poaching crowns thing because you were mad that I was being too friendly with the fans?
No, I just saw that we lost a bunch of crowns and they all went to Aussie, and I was like, okay, Rastoff, let's play.
That's what he told me.
We talked about that too, because that's literally when I was talking about the parasocial stuff, because I was like, this is gonna hurt the show if we have
how
issues.
you're having all these
No,
conversations
you hurt the
with
show.
Keem and telling everybody about them. That's
You
hilarious.
hurt the show, right? It was never a problem until the frequency of hate for you increased. Before that, it was totally fine because it was engagement. But as soon as you were a to the fans and they started hating you, oh, now it's bad for the show. No, you're bad for the show. You're
called
bad
one
because we
fan.
lost
I
crowns
called
and
one
pay-pigs and
fan
fans
retarded
because you called them. No, you treated them like shit. Like
no, I called
you
one
were
fan
rude to
retarded,
Gamer of
and
the
you made a
Dam the
big
other
deal
day, and he
about
didn't
it.
come back. Like, dude,
I was rude to
like-
Gamer because he jumped into our show 6 times.
Yeah, but you don't have to be a prick about it, dude. These
I
people
wasn't.
keep us on the air.
I wasn't a prick. I told him that to not do that
Gentlemen.
again, and then he did it again.
Ah, I'm with you, Ron.
Please,
I'm with you.
please understand that you both could be wrong in this scenario, right? One, Twiggy's being rude to a fan, over rude to a fan. And two, Rastoff is being over nice to the fans and like worshiping them, right? You both
just
could
myself.
be wrong.
Just
You
friendly.
both could be wrong.
You
here.
both could be
Friendly
wrong.
dude. No, but he's saying that you said you have a problem with it, that it's your call that you're making, not him.
We literally
saying
had
that
a
you
whole
have the issue with
conversation
it.
about like being too like too involved with
I'm
like
never gonna
fans'
stop
lives
loving the
and
fans,
stuff.
man, because they literally keep the lights on, dude.
Yes,
and
and
if
we
you treat them
That's
like
what
shit,
and there's
EDP
nothing
said.
wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Shut the
but
fuck up,
the
Billy.
getting overly
Billy.
involved. Like,
bro, I was a fan. I was a fan before I was a host. Are you telling me like I become a host, I'm not supposed to talk to these people anymore?
No,
I'm
it's-
sorry, guys. I'm too good for you now.
it's when it gets parasocial that it can be. I
don't decide if it's parasocial though. I don't decide how people feel.
Nobody decides.
No, this wasn't a problem until you treated them like shit and they started hating you. That's literally it.
I literally
You were
called a fan retarded,
they
and then
decided they hated you.
You made a very big deal about me calling a fan retarded, which he did say something retarded, and that's when it became an issue. You literally like would not stop
Oh, that
talking
was the
about
same night that you got on me and you were like talking shitty to the fans that were in the chat, telling them, you know, you didn't give a f about what they were saying and some other donos and some shit like that. It was.
Yeah, I told a
something like that.
guy. I
It was
told a
the
guy
same night.
something like, "If you're gonna be retarded, at least be retarded somewhere else or something like."
And the
that.
reason that
Did
he
you
treats
start
the
your
fans like
show?
shit is because
Yeah.
Keem does it. He says this is
Guys,
what Keem does. Keem
we're
doesn't
like-
give a shit about the fans.
We're like
Wait,
way
Rastov,
over.
did you start your show?
I've got it.
Yes, anymore. It's not my job.
What?
Twiggy.
Yeah, I told you, Keem. I told you at Fat Camp that I was gonna take over OBS because I'm not
Well,
gonna
then
have
you
a show
should have
held
started.
hostage again.
You could have started
No,
your
you
show
said
while you were
he
in
told
here.
you that's what you were gonna do. You said that he told you that's what you were gonna do. Not
No,
you
I
told
literally
him.
asked him, and then he told me to just.
Bro, I'm over this, dude. I'm over it. This is
I
is
feel
literally
like-
why I wanted to quit in the first
Okay,
place.
so Twiggy, you say here the reason for the OBS is because of the threatening and the end streams
Yes.
and leaving. I told him we're good, but that you're back and he was going to fire you. I told him that it was just a rough night, and he told me if it happens again, I have to make the tough decision.
Yes.
But he'll let me make the call.
That's what he said. I literally asked him, "What if this happens again?" And he's like, "F it, fire him, handle it." That's literally what he said.
I don't know. Maybe I did, but there's no way it's serious. I don't know, dude.
I can
Look,
vaguely
let me-
remember you guys having
I
a
feel like he
conversation.
heard what he
but
wanted to
that's-
hear at the point, right? He wanted someone else, and you said a word relating to what he wanted, so he was like, "Okay, boss, I'll get rid of him."
If I like for one, if I wanted somebody else, I wouldn't have talked to you the day after and like literally told you that I couldn't do this without you.
Okay.
All
When I
the
was still
comments that are
upset.
going to hate you for
Guys,
this as well, I'm
instead
going to
of-
make
in-
sure I hate
instead
all
of
of them.
arguing what was said at Fat Camp, which I really don't fully remember, let me just lay down the law now. All right. Both of you run Aussie. It's both of your shows.
Mm-hmm.
No one has more power than the other one, right? Whoever is best to run the OBS should be running the OBS. You guys have to decide among each other.
He literally abused our whole Docket team and made them quit.
No,
Specifically
I didn't. They
because
quit.
You yell
They
at them.
quit when
No,
you
they quit
when you
because
let
you
the
treat them like
show.
shit.
They
Do you want to
literally
bring them
let-
on?
they-
Because I'm sure they'll tell you.
What did I do? To
You
the
literally
Docket team? I
abused the
literally
shit out of
thanked them. Abused the shit out of them. I thanked them for their hard work. I said that the Docket chat's not a place to just hold conversations that have nothing to do with the show.
You talk
because
shit
then when
about
I go
like,
in there,
the Docket
there's
team members
500
that are on the
messages,
main
and I can't
show,
keep
dude.
up.
Like
Because-
these Docket team members work on the main show and the other successful shows. So like you shitting on them makes no sense, dude. You got
It's not
Gino
a place to
quit.
have a conversation.
Who was
I still
literally-
stand by that.
Gino
Yes,
was the
but
first one to
Gino,
quit because of you,
Gino,
bro.
Gino has hated me since like I didn't find one message because we had 500 messages in there, which is why I said that this is not a place to have conversations, especially about things that don't have anything to do with the show. Because then when I wake up,
Bro,
I
don't wanna
can't
work
find
with you
anything
anymore,
because
dude.
there's
I don't wanna work
500
with you anymore.
messages.
You're a piece of shit, dude. I hate you. I genuinely
Gino
don't want
just
to work
said,
with you anymore.
Gino just said in the Discord, Twiggy abused the Docket team, then lied on air. LOL.
How did I abuse the Docket team?
That's what Gino says in the Discord right now at 12:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Is telling them that this is not a place to like, you know, have fun, have conversation, like have fun outside of the show abuse, because I was trying to make it to where when I went in there, I could find the content that we were looking for and put it on the show.
Gino just said at 12:30 again, let the record show I quit because of his abuse of the Docket team.
Abuse
I don't
is
know
a
how
funny
I
word.
abused the Docket team. It like if You're not even getting
Twiggy.
paid. Like,
Twiggy.
yes.
Gino is my long.
I know who Gino is.
And most important employee in the history of my online career. And if Gino is saying you're being abusive on the Docket team, Gino is 100% right, and there can't even be a response to that. Like, whatever Gino says is literally like in the Bible as fact.
If Gino can put up with Keemstar, and I know how it is to be around Keemstar, believe me, if you abuse Gino to the point where Gino quit, you must have done something up.
I don't even know what the abuse was. I literally just said that, like, for one, I literally told the Docket team I was going to make jokes on the show about how crappy Docket teams were. Like, that's something I literally told them, and I rarely made those jokes. Only whenever something wasn't like it wasn't even if something wasn't good or entertaining.
I had to tell you that I was going to take over the Docket team because they were going to quit because you treated them like crap. So I was like, you don't worry about it.
How did I treat them like crap? I was never. You literally said.
I can pull in one of the Docket team members.
It will be toxic.
Yes, because I want to know how it's abused.
Fire one or both.
Hey, Scully.
Well, since I was on the Docket team, I can tell you the reason I left is because the night that you decided to have your Spurg out where Rastov left, I wasn't even awake when that happened. I went back and I watched the stream to understand what happened and realized that while we were not working on the Aussie Docket because we were expecting Fat Camp contact, no one was talking about Docket work. No one was really even talking in that chat. You decided to throw us under the bus saying we were complaining that you weren't using the Docket. We've never once complained.
No, it was Rastov and Gino saying I wasn't using it.
We built the Docket for you guys to use when you guys didn't have content outside. You never helped with anything on the Docket. I went back through the messages. You never even put anything for us to put on. We built it all for you, for you guys to use when you wanted to, and that was it.
Wasn't that how we were always doing it? I wasn't being disrespectful. For one, I said that y'all, meaning Gino and Rastov, were saying I wasn't using it because Gino was putting together a plan for something, right? Wasn't even aware of his
awesome content idea that we were all working on except you, and you didn't even
know
look
about
at
it until
late
Gino because, for one, you've got to at me, and you've got to at me more than once because there are 500 messages every morning when I wake up to check the Docket.
That's a you problem.
I can't be on at all times.
Let me defend Twiggy. At Fat Camp, Twiggy was doing extra work for me.
This was before.
Yeah, that's fair. This is before Fat Camp.
Well, even before, there's 500 messages. Yeah. That's why I literally said multiple times that this is not a place to have conversations, especially only stuff regarding the show.
Segments. We were having conversations about the show, about the night before, and about segment ideas and things that we wanted to find and how we wanted to improve stuff for you guys. We were talking about the Docket. We might make a joke about another show here and there, but we were still talking about the Docket.
It was mostly just
once in a while there was a good morning or something, but
every time I check it, it was, how was your day? And then it would be somebody describing literally every detail of their day. And it would be multiple messages of them doing that. It was very hard to keep up with it.
Bro, you clock in at work and you talk to your coworkers and you're like, "Hey, how's it going?" These people are not paid. These people aren't paid. They're volunteering our time, and you literally had nothing to do with it. You didn't need to
fill up a cache.
You had no input into it. All you had to do was show up to work, dude. We literally did everything else.
Every day we had the Docket done by by the time Nerd started, before you guys, way before you guys. We would get everything re-put in, and we'd wait for every night. After your guys' show, Rastov would give his opinions. Hey, no more this. Can we have more of this? You never told us what you wanted, and then you got mad that we didn't do stuff that you wanted. We can't read your mind.
I didn't get mad that you...
So
live Docket.
Gino says in the Discord, literally, we were planning a week-long event, and he was MIA.
I wasn't MIA. I wasn't told about it, and if I was told about it, it was drowned out by stuff, so I couldn't find it.
Here's the thing.
That was literally it.
I'm on the live Docket team. No one bothers Keem. It is Keem comes and says, "This is what I want." Adds the Docket team members, and then expects it to be there.
No, I literally told you guys in the Docket chat how great you were doing. I love the different segments, like the he say, the debates, the Facebook Marketplace stuff. I didn't want any of that replaced. Why would I go in there and talk about what I wanted to replace?
Gino said we were working on this shit and he was MIA, then complained we were doing shit.
No,
LOL.
I literally complained to Rastov when he told me that I wasn't ever in the Docket chat, or that I wasn't like aware of everything going on, because I told him there'd be no way for me to be aware, because every time I look at it, there's 200 new messages. It's a dumb conversation.
This is what I think's going on, right? And a lot of people have come to me and whispered in my ear, like, Twiggy's getting a bit of an ego. He's getting a little out of control. He thinks he's like bigger and better than everyone else. He's getting a god complex. And I think they might be right. I think you might be losing it a little bit. Your head might be getting big.
I mean, unless I'm literally blinded right now. I haven't been any different than I have when I joined the Discord a year ago. And I have tons of people who have known me since before I was on a show that can back that up.
So you don't feel like you've changed at all?
I think I've gotten a little more. I think I've gotten a little more cutthroat, because, like, literally, I'll say something and then it's just drowned out. But
okay, let me ask Rastov that question, because he like works with you day in and day out. So same question to Rastov. Have you noticed Twiggy getting a bit of an ego?
Oh, 100%, dude. Like, they had to kick him off test because he kept jumping on their show. Like, we used to have fun, and now it's like, oh, I gotta stream with him again. I wonder what bullshit he's gonna pull on me today. Like,
the only thing I've done is try to like be more involved, because I was literally being told both on camera and behind the scenes that I wasn't as involved. And then the minute I try to get more involved, it becomes an issue. Then I have to explain why I can't, like I'm struggling to keep up with the docket and stuff like that. Once I described that, that's when it became an issue. It all happened at Fat Camp.
I don't think Twiggy has changed at all. This is the same guy that pulled the knife out episode 1 of Aussie and flipped the script from all the shows. He was calm, cool, brotherly like guy, all the pre-episodes. The first episode they went live, he flipped and went psycho and stole the show. He's been pulling back and forth with Rastov. He's had this chip, this ego. He's been doing this the entire time. He pulls and pushes with Rastov, and Rastov has got this rapport with the audience that gives him a level of control that Twiggy is trying to battle with. And the second you told Twiggy that he had any ability to fight back, he ran with it, went to Rastov and said, Keem says I could fire you. And he held that over Rastov's head.
Twiggy, you want to work with someone else?
No, I genuinely like working with Rastov. Now, I know he won't be able to work, like, he won't want to work with me going forward, but I'm still willing.
Let's see if anyone else can handle it, to be honest.
But there's no one else in this universe you would want to work with. Because maybe it makes sense. Maybe it makes sense you go work with Zay and Buff goes work with Rastov for a month. It's the beginning of the month.
I can work with anybody. I just have to I have to get an understanding of who they are, right? So like with Zay, I know Zay kind of well, right? I could work with Zay. I think that about anybody, like, especially once I have an understanding of them, right? The biggest issue, there's some stuff I just don't even want to like bring up because it's not necessary to.
Gino says Rastov crash outs are because Twiggy egoing and being manipulative.
No, I was told the crash outs are because I don't understand his emotions.
That's the egoing and being manipulative.
Yeah.
Twiggy, are you frustrated that you've lost the audience? Because there's like, even over at Rewind, they're all like, fire Twiggy.
I am, yeah.
Well, how do you think you should win them back? I thought I gave you a good game plan at Fat Camp. I literally remember you saying, out Rastov, and be super nice. Did you implement that?
I literally tried to help him get the audience back by saying, like, you took it a little bit too far. Like, next time, maybe dial it down. And he was like, the audience, man. Keem says don't listen to the fans. And I'm just like, bro, like, they don't like you now. You took it too far. He doubled down on it.
No, that night is not what he's talking about. Yeah, it worked.
Twiggy, the audience hates you. It did not work.
It worked until anytime Rastov gets upset, even if it doesn't, like, if I'm on the screen with him and not coddling him, the audience turns on me. That's the dynamic we have.
Oh my God, no.
See, and now you're backed into a corner, so you're gonna start trying to like use my emotions
No,
as
that's
a
just
weapon again.
That's
Great
just
job,
how
bro.
it is.
Change the record for once. You manipulative.
That's literally how it is, though.
I mean, I'm not saying what I did was right, and it should have never happened, right? But eventually, we're all going to do something up. All right.
Speak for yourself, bro. I'm not doing
Except for you, Rastoff. You actually are able to keep yourself composed. You don't let your emotions take control of you.
How do we get the boys back?
W
Because
Necro.
we like the Aussie boys.
I don't want to do it anymore. Like literally, we've had Crowns who won't re-up. We got Paypigs who won't re-up specifically because he was a cunt, and his attitude was, "We'll just get new ones. F them." Like, no, not f them. These people are the reason that we're as successful as we are.
You two were the
because
reason.
they care.
You two were the reason.
No.
I
Because
say
we
you to Crowns and shit because like.
Yes,
I'm
but this is the
Keemstar.
difference.
You
You
know,
have
yeah,
exactly.
you're
You have
starting a-
reputation. You could
You guys
literally
are
sit
starting
there
a
and do
brand
nothing, and
new
they'll pay
show.
you because they
can't be
like
doing
you.
That. Yeah.
Well, what I was saying is that like if
I'm over
if somebody
this, bro.
doesn't
I'm
like
fucking
me
over
and they're
this.
not
I
crowning
am
for
too.
me, right? Maybe they'll crown for you. If they don't crown for me, like if they don't like me, I don't know what to do to make them like me.
But you abused
Right?
them to the point where they were like, as much as I like Rastov,
Abuse?
I'm
Why
not
are we
willing to give
using the
my
word
money.
abuse, bro?
Because that's how they felt, dickhead.
Both of you need to move a little bit towards the center. You're too polar opposite right now. Too polar opposite. The show is not going to succeed unless you both take a couple steps towards the middle.
But where's the middle?
Yeah.
The middle is Twiggy. You got to stop being such a cunt. You need to come towards the center. Stop being such an egomaniac. All right.
True.
Rastov, you got to stop being such a Karen about the fans and every little fan's feelings.
True.
I
This
am
is
trying.
The middle. This is the middle. You both have to step towards the middle a little bit. You're still going to be polar opposites. You're never going to be in the middle directly, but you need to move towards the middle. You're way too far apart right now.
I genuinely don't want to work with them anymore. Like, genuinely.
How about Twiggy takes a vacation, a week vacation, okay? And then Rastov, you can either do the show by yourself or you can get different co-hosts, and that'll give you guys a break, all right? He's not going to be financially penalized for this week vacation. He can pop on other shows. Twiggy can do whatever he wants. And then you guys come back at a week and, like, let's try to mend this.
Can
How about
Rastov have Glammy?
that? He can have anyone he wants.
Jesus Christ.
Listen,
What did I do to hurt you,
maybe
Billy?
that's what y'all need. Maybe that's what y'all need. Maybe you just need a break from each other.
Yeah.
But the reason why I chose Twiggy to take the break is because he lost the favor with the audience, so it just makes sense that he would take the break. You know, Twiggy, it's not.
I
a
mean,
punishment.
I don't have a choice, so.
But it's not a punishment. I know how you're taking this like it's a punishment. It is not a punishment.
No, I get it. I get it. Especially like me not being in favor, which I mean, to be fair, when have I ever been in favor?
That's a you problem. You've made your bed. We've been trying to tell you this entire time to be a little less Twiggy, and you're like, "Nah, I got this." And we let you be Twiggy.
Well, yeah, I can usually be Twiggy, and it's fine. We'll get some hate dono stuff like that, which that's not even why I'm doing it. I'm just doing it because it's fun, right? But anytime I'm being me, and then there's emotions on the other side, people start to feel bad. And then somebody's got to be blamed for the emotions, even though half the time it's because there's something going on at home that has nothing to do with me.
I mean, I'm not saying what I did was right, and it should have never happened, right? But eventually, we're all going to do something up. All right.
Speak for yourself, bro. I'm not doing
Except for you, Rastoff. You actually are able to keep yourself composed. You don't let your emotions take control of you.
That's why you got to be.
For you, right?
That's why you got to be better at it.
No, it doesn't. Because I don't bring.
Twiggy, if I was in your position, I would have buck broke Rastov. You weren't good enough.
Well, the thing
you weren't
is-
good enough to Rastov.
No, I could have easily turned in like any time that Rastov, had an emotional meltdown, I could have played him like a Lolcow. But why would I do that?
So you wouldn't
Right?
be on the chopping block right now.
Yes, but so mess with somebody else's life to, make mine better. Yeah, I could see where people would think that's something I would do.
It's still what you're doing, though.
But
You're
not
just
with
not
Rash.
doing it well
you mean
enough.
like holding my job over my head, my financial security over my head? You dumb motherfucker! You
That's
hearing
what
yourself?
You've been doing.
No,
What?
it's not.
Dude,
I
Twiggy,
literally
what-
told him there
If
was
you don't do what I
looking at
do,
the
what I
DMs,
want, I will
Twiggy.
fire you.
How many of them did he send you everything? Because I said multiple times that would never be something that would happen. The dynamic doesn't work without both of us.
I can
Bro,
fire you at any
this-
point, bro. But trust
Did
me,
you
I
tell
will.
him-
Yeah, you're
Like,
making him
tell
think
him-
that wait, hold on,
Yeah.
Goff. Hold on.
Sorry.
Because I got the DMs in front of me. Bro, you're literally making him think that Keem wants him gone and you're saving him.
That's because Keem that night was acting like he wanted him gone, and he said a few things that implied that he wanted him gone.
Twiggy, everything you did to Rostov is so f***ed up and wrong, but I'm also proud of you because like it's so f***ed up and wrong.
Yeah, but
That's the
But
one
it
thing here
wasn't-
is that
Okay.
it is drama.
Yeah, it is drama, but Keem, the only thing he's going to hear about, the only thing he actually heard with the sentence you just said is that you were proud of him. He's not going to hear how f***ed up and wrong it was. That's
Xylee,
his
thank you for
problem.
talking for me. I appreciate it.
No, I'm not
but
talking
no,
for you.
that's-
I know
Everyone
how
knows
you
that's
are.
what you.
Everybody
No.
knows,
Everyone knows
how you
that.
are, bro.
No, I mean I can reflect on it and know that it's like I
Just
can
like
see
you can fire
what
Rastov,
other people are
right?
seeing, but that's genuinely like we had a conversation. I thought it was a serious conversation. Like
Oh my god! I just thought of something.
What?
Rastov, sir, I have some bad news and some good news for you.
Oh no.
The bad news is Twiggy will not be taking a week off of Aussie. You're going to be taking a week off of Aussie.
Oh, okay.
And the good news is you are going to be with me and Boogie on Lolcow Live for the next week.
What?
There you go.
Keem
There
was
we
saying
go.
he needed more people.
Problem solved.
Stuff. I slept for the last 48 hours because I'm pretty sure we had COVID. So what the f did I miss besides that?
Dude, talking about it's just gonna get me angry again. But essentially, did you know that like I had a crash out at Fat Camp where I legitimately quit the show?
Yes, but I didn't. We were so busy during. I couldn't get into the details.
So yeah, him and
Hey,
Twiggy,
Rocky.
have been fighting, and he literally like quit the show. And so allegedly at Fat Camp, Twiggy came up to me to complain about Rastov. All right.
Right.
And allegedly, and I don't really remember this, I told him, well, Rastov, just fire him. All right. But that's not really what I said. I'm sure I said something like that, but it was more just like off Twiggy. It wasn't like serious. Like it was like smiling at him, like, then just fire him. Like, I'm busy. Leave me alone, Twiggy type shit. So
Yeah.
Twiggy went and told Rastov, hey, just so you know, Keem gave me the power to fire you, and you can't be running the OBS anymore. And Rastov's like, well, I should probably reach out and talk to Keem. He's like, you better not. He'll just fire you on the spot if you even talk to him.
Oh my God. So you have been under the impression that Keemstar is like this close to firing you?
Bro, he legitimately said he was mad about all these things that he didn't even know about, right? Like I did a solo stream and we made a bunch of money for the show because we haven't been able to stream, and he was like, dude, the boss wasn't happy with you, man. You shouldn't have done
Why would he
that.
not
Like,
be happy with you making a shitload of money?
that's what I thought. Like the whole thing is, so I refuse to work with. I'm not going to work with him anymore. I'm not going to do it. Like literally, I'm not allowed to solo stream. I wasn't allowed to engage with the fans anymore. Like, it's going to get me angry again.
So Rastov's running around for like the last week or 10 days or however long it was, terrified that he's going to get fired by me for any moment. And I had no
Oh my God.
And I had no intentions of anything. You know what I mean? I just thought these two little retards are fighting with each other, whatever, shut up, Twiggy. That I didn't think about it since I got back, since as soon as April Fool's started, that midnight on Monday midnight on Rewind.
He went to him on the worst possible day, right? He went to him on the day that Becky got into a fight and the whole wings thing happened. Right?
Oh
So
God.
the boss is already like in a bad mood.
Yeah, that's a bad day.
Right?
Are you going to work with Twiggy again, or is it just over?
I don't want to work with him again, period. I'm done. Bro, this is like the 5th time and this is the worst time. So like, at what point do I go back and look like a bitch?
Would you say you hate him?
I hate working with him. I don't really hate anybody.
So you can't forgive him,
Nah. This is too much. Right? Like threatening my job is too much. And then trying to make it seem like he was on my side, but but knowing that he couldn't actually fire me. Do you know what I mean?
It is a troll. Like, I don't want to defend Twiggy, but it is a troll, right? But it did go too far. But I don't think his intention was to break you or with your mind fully. It was like a troll. He's a notorious troll.
I was shocked at how many people truly hate Twiggy, and want him fired. That kind of blew my mind.
I wouldn't want to work with him either. I don't blame you one bit.
I feel like there's some type of ego that's happening that's getting out of control. But then at the same time, when we were talking about it, Billy the Fridge was like, dude, Twiggy's always had this ego. What are you talking about? So I'm like, yeah, I guess, but
literally everybody that's known him in the Discord is saying, most people, because some people are saying he was from the start. People are saying that he's changed, and that's from them. These are people that knew him before I even in the Discord. The thing is, at what point do I just say enough is enough? Because this shit is just much.
Well,
right?
dude,
and anyone that wants to comment, they don't have to work with him. They've never tried to work with him, So it's you don't know what it's like.
Yeah, but the plan is I was gonna let you come on this show for a week, Rastov, right? To give you and Twiggy a break. But then after the week's over, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I guess that's up to you, dude.
Well, you guys are gonna have to figure it out, right? I mean,
I'm happy to keep doing the show. I'm just not working with him anymore because, one, he's literally isolated our audience to the point where they don't want to support anymore. And it's I'd rather not work with someone I don't want to work with, and then have the show slowly die because the people hate my co-host.
Well, that puts me in a spot where I have to fire either you or Twiggy, and obviously, the audience would really want Twiggy to go because they hate him.
Right.
That puts me in a weird spot. But also today,
I think he doesn't deserve to be on a show though. I feel like it's just maybe that show's not the right one for him anymore. I don't know. But like I said, that's your choice.
Since I joined the Discord, right? Way before there was multiple shows. This is before the cancer arc, right? Yep. People have been making up stories about my lore and my life and different details about my wife, for example. And I'm just gonna keep on rolling with each one of them. Every time somebody makes up something that's funny that adds to my lore, boom, it's added.
I can never tell when you're lying or telling the truth, and it's really my brain up right now. I could, when you said that your wife had no legs, when you had your Australian accent, I didn't know who the you were. I'm like, dude, this is crazy. I'm over here writing the chat. Hey, I have a buddy that lives in Australia too. Like an idiot.
Well, the Discord knows the whole thing about my wife, right? And they've known forever because they're the ones who made it up. Literally, I was in a VC back in the day, right? And people were asking about my marriage because it was to the point where people were so weirded out by me that they were like, "There's no way that this guy is married." And they're like, "So what do you do with your wife for fun? Where do you take her out on dates and all this stuff?" Just asking questions to see how I'd answer. And one person asked, "Do you take your wife on walks on the beach?" Basically referring to her as a dog, right?
Do you guys get the good parking?
But I was like, no. I was gonna say I was gonna make a joke about how we don't go to the beach because I don't like sand. I was gonna make a Star Wars joke, but before I could, somebody came in and they were like, "No, bro, you're being and they're like, "What, bro?" And he's like, "Bro, his wife doesn't have legs," and it's just been a story ever since. And you can ask almost any of the hosts. Everybody's in on the joke. It's been well known for I don't even know how long, almost a year at this point. But then somebody brought it up on the YouTube channel. Somebody commented something about my wife not having legs. And it was acknowledged, and then I've just been rolling with it ever since. Yeah,
Twiggy-
Billy,
Oh, thank
Billy,
God, okay.
Tina exposed in the chat today that my wife has legs.
Yeah, it's pretty bold of you to invite her to fat camp and have her walking around everywhere.
Well, I mean, also, as I told them, I didn't even make that shit up, bro. It was thrown into my lap, and I thought it would be hilarious.
Well, now I have one thing to say.
And what is that
Yeah.
one thing?
Twiggy, you owe me one hell of an apology
For what?
for why does Twiggy owe me an apology?
Let me think it through.
Twiggy owes me an apology.
Because you're missing a leg.
And I said, I give you major kudos, dude, because by the time I was out of the hospital and I lost my leg, my husband was gone. But you were sticking it out with yours, and I was so proud of you. You. What the hell? Who do you think you are? Saying that kind of a lie when there are people that are missing their legs, dude.
I
am
understand
so
this.
hurt. I am so hurt right now. You need to stop lying, or I need to come to your house and stick 10 bars of soap in your mouth and make you swallow that shit. That is wrong. There is a special place in hell for people like you. I am so pissed off at you right now. Now you tell me why you thought saying shit like that was so fair to people that are missing legs. Me, Tina, anybody else.
I
Tell
mean,
me why
there's
you think
people who
that
are
was
missing
nice.
their, like, I don't know, there's people who are missing their fathers, but people can still make jokes about them being fatherless. It's a
And
joke.
I'm missing that too. I'm going to tell you what you're missing, Twiggy. You're missing a brain. That's what you're missing. You're missing a heart, a soul, and a brain.
Humor may
clue,
be
buddy.
objective,
Get-
but I still have, you know, my sense of humor, and I can understand if you...
That is not a sense of humor, buddy. That's not.
I think...
Have a nice day, sir.
You as well.
You tried to make a point. You were like, people miss their fathers. They can still make jokes about. I'm missing my father too. You up on the double down.
No, I mean, I still double down on it because, like, at the end of the day,
that
it's
was
a
great.
joke.
You up on
right?
that too.
At the end of the day, it's a joke for one. Two, right? That was something other people started. I went along with it, but I probably would have made up the same rumor too because it's funny. It's absurd. The story originally was that she lost one leg on a roller coaster accident and the other in an escalator incident, Billy. Does that not just sound preposterous? Right?
No, it sounds preposterous. It sounds crazy, but here's the thing, right? Imagine all the people that thought that you were an amazing man because you got with a woman who went through such heartache, and like what a guy who could see something in somebody who suffered, and they think highly of you, and then they realize you're just a slime. It was lying, right? That's where they're coming from, right?
I mean, I've talked about this with you, Billy. I've talked about it with everybody at Fat Camp. The story changed, and I went along with it. It was funny to me, right? Because of how, like it literally was never something that was even supposed to come to the show. Whenever, like, somebody acknowledged it, because I wasn't the first to acknowledge it on the show. A member came on talking about it, and I just went along with it, right? It's always been known that it was a joke on the Discord. Then multiple shows started being introduced. More people were introduced. And then more people started talking about it, right? I didn't think, people were going to think I was some amazing guy because I'm taking care of her. I've made multiple, like, joking statements where I thought the tone of sarcasm was clear that I don't take care of her. She will whoop my ass, right? Like, I don't want any sympathy for this because I was trying to imply that it's not real without saying it's not real, because then that just makes the joke not as fun.
I think the audience should actually feel more sympathy for you and more care for you as a husband, because sure, your wife has two legs, but you stay with her and she has something far more dilapidating than missing 2 legs. She's stuck with you as a husband.
That's not a bad point, Billy.
Twiggy, do you think there's a road to redemption for you?
I'm the wrong person to ask that question because I think there's a road to redemption for almost anybody.
So you do think there's a road to redemption for you?
I said almost anybody.
I know that there is for you. I know that there is a Twiggy out there that the world loves. But I don't know if
He ain't on the internet.
I don't know if you're gonna show him to us. I don't know if you're gonna let him out. I think you like playing Deputy Dickhead too much.
I would say you have to have some value, right? If you have value, then you stick around. If you have no value, then like, what's the point? You know?
Yeah, I get that point.
Twiggy is quickly moving into the no value zone.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
But what's the value? You know what I mean? I tune
Yeah.
into Twiggy for what?
Damn.
For
I
what?
mean,
It
I
works
saw
to
what
hate
you
on
said
him,
in the
but
Discord.
there's no money.
I saw what you said in the Discord
Yeah.
about the show.
I watched it today and I clicked off about, I don't know, 30 minutes in, 15 minutes in, something like that. I don't see value, like, at all. Like, look, you guys can hate dog water all you want, but it's kind of fun to go over there and talk shit to that bitch, you know?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I
John is
completely agree with
hilarious,
you.
by the way.
It's
when he hopped on
entertaining when
nerds.
people. Yeah.
Like, you have to have some value. It's not about, are you a bad person or a good person? That's not what this is. It's the entertainment business. It's entertainment, right? But you have to have some value.
That's what
And
Billy's always telling me. He always has
I'm
to
looking at
remind me of
this-
that.
I'm looking at this Twiggy shit and I'm just like, bro, what is going on? Like, I don't know. He's got to figure out something real quick, but that's all.
I was informed that I was being talked about and told to try and come on and defend myself.
Keem
And I'm so good at that.
Keem hopped on and was talking about you don't show value anymore in the LCU to narrow it down or to simplify it.
Real before we get into this.
He said that I'm struggling to see the value. That's what he said.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I can see that.
I got some bad news.
Uh-oh.
I just made a decision. Aussie's kind of like falling apart. It's in a really bad spot. And Madhouse has finally got their footing with their cast, and it's actually becoming a decent show. So I'm going to switch those 2 show times starting tomorrow.
All right.
So Aussie will be live tomorrow at noon.
Beyond the Box is a very good supporter of Aussie and also Test as well. Came up to speak to you about how she was upset, right? Because she's an amputee, and you like essentially just laughed in her face, and made a joke about a dead parent that being the same principle.
No, I said that like comedy is objective.
It is
and
subjective.
I did.
But is that the
not
time to make
objective?
it?
But yeah, like in situations like that, I'll admit I don't know really how to respond.
Then
Because
why f***ing double down, man? You must know, like, you can't be that like out of touch that you think responding like that is a good way to respond and it's going to lead to anything positive.
I mean, I could have apologized, right? But
well, yeah, I think you do.
It would be
like, owe some people an apology.
But I also like at that point the apology's just as fake as like what I said about my wife, right?
But like then dude, like you own your ship. You don't have to double down and kind of like just smile in her face as she exposes like something she struggled with. That she had sympathy for you and respect for you for looking after someone who was a supposed amputee. You don't have to double down and be like, yeah, you know. But like, dead parent jokes are fucking on table, so why can't this? Like it's not the same.
Well, no, I
you
mean,
know it's
like,
not the same. Like you can talk about comedy all you want, but you lying about your wife not having legs, and you and Rasta having a joke about his parents being like passed away because you have that rapport with
well,
each
I
other.
wasn't even
The
referring to
two
that.
completely
I
different-
didn't
No,
even
but like
say
what I'm saying
anything
is,
about dead
I
parents. I just
used
said like
no, you
some
did.
people don't have a father.
No, yeah, well,
And
that's okay.
we can
The
still
dead
call them
parents
fatherless.
instead of parents, then you know what I mean. But like, it's still what I'm saying is, I was using the Rostov situation as a reference point for your argument. Like, that's a completely different situation. A completely different situation.
No, I understand. I just like I don't know. I've always had maybe it's a messed up view of like comedy and making
No,
jokes. And I
Twiggy,
know that
no, it's
this
not.
went too
Although I
far to
could
be a
no.
joke.
Twiggy, sorry, dude. I have a fucked up sense of humor myself. I have a really dark sense of humor. I love my dark jokes, but there's a time and place, bro. Timing. You know what isn't subjective about humor? Timing. And the place to do
agree.
it. So like then why double down when she's telling you how up she feels because she's been supporting you and giving you sympathy because of what you've been doing for your supposed like amputated wife? Why double down and smile in their face about it? Like that's you gotta understand. Like that comes across as psychotic. That's not subjective humor. That's being borderline psychotic.
I understand. But I also don't want to just lie like to her about like
all right.
I mean, I apologize in the sense that like I don't like the fact that she was hurt by that personally. Right? But like I also didn't have her in mind when, I made the original like or when I decided to go with, the stuff that was being said about my wife. My intention was just like put it out there or let it just be out there so that way when people do start digging about her because they were digging. It was
Then do what
pretty
other
big
people
issue.
do in this universe and don't mention a wife at all. Look, dude, there's got to be a level of accountability that's taken in this situation, right? There's just no way you can be like, I didn't know this was going to be the case. Like, I'm sorry, you've not been away from like you watch YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you used to watch PewDiePie, Logan Paul, anything, anyone of any relevance, yeah. So you saw their ups, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like they knew what they were doing was wrong and they took accountability for it because they realized how many people they affected. And there's no way that you can say like without a shadow of doubt that you had no clue that any of this was going to happen out of this situation.
We talked about I knew people were going to be upset. I literally told you I was like this has gone on too long, but I'm just going to wait for it to come out and face it when it happens because I don't really know what to do about it.
This is like the situations like you seeing these people, these real people are watching you, right? Like real people that are giving their time to support you financially or via watching it. It's very little difference to be fair. They're supporting you nonetheless, right? You've done things over these past few weeks, not even just about the leg incident, right? Let's just move past the leg incident for the situation. You've done things over the past few weeks that has really gone, it feels out of your way to deter them away from you and make them feel stupid for supporting you. And you've continued to double down. You've had everyone around you, if myself, and much bigger influencers that have much more standing on the ground telling you to stop, that you need to call it quits on this and you need to start like actually communicating with your authentic self. You don't have to be overly emotional. You don't have to be incredibly like over the top, like crazy on it. You don't have to be like faking the crocodile tears, but to at least show some accountability, right? Like some level of like humanity to the people that you are affecting on a daily.
You've been trying to manipulate everybody around you.
It's just sad to see, dude. It is really sad because like I know you can be a good dude beyond all the shit you've done. I know you can be a good guy. I know you can do great stuff. I know you can make amazing content. I know you can do like phenomenal stuff. But yet then you do shit like this, just you're basically punching everyone in the face. Like, like you were literally biting the hands that are out there to feed you and offer you help and solutions. You were literally going out your way to do the exact opposite. I don't understand what the end game is. Look, we gave you a chance to come up here and speak your truth as you are, right? As you are as a person. But instead of doing that, you've done this whole mental gymnastics. And then when you do finally start to like come around, you then like you Keem, like, you know, he wants you to be entertaining about you being an asshole, right? And then you use that as a way to reinforce your bullshit. But the difference, the problem is, you're still not being entertaining about it.
I'm here to just like try to figure out where to go next. Like the biggest thing that I've said that is true is that like when it comes to people's feelings, I genuinely do struggle to understand, right? So it's easier to just shut off from that. It's something that I did that became, you know, it's like a rhythm, right? You know, the more I did it, the easier it became. So now I've gotten myself stuck into a place where, like, whenever something does happen or somebody is telling me how they feel about something, I struggle to relate to it, and that's 100% on me. I haven't.
You fell for your own bullshit.
No,
You fell for your
if,
own bullshit.
If I did, it was before any of this LCU stuff was ever a thing. It's been like this for as long as I can remember.
No, you fell for your own bullshit being a co-host. You fell for your own bullshit because of manipulating people. That's you losing your way.
No, when it comes to like how empathetic I am of things, that goes back. Do you want to know like the origin of it? Because I will spill like my life story.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care about the origin of it.
Yeah.
All I care about is how you walked around and you've tried to manipulate everybody. And how you bullshit everybody and how you talk to your supporters. And how you treated people who were giving you money and being members of your chat. You treated them like absolute shit. That's what I care about. I care about me seeing those goddamn DMs between you and Rastov and you blowing so much smoke up his ass. You thought Keemstar was your best friend, bro. You completely manipulated him in those goddamn DMs. That's what I care about. I care about when I get there, you're mad at Rastov and you're talking shit about Rastov to anybody and everybody that can hear you, that will listen to you.
It's true.
That's what I give a fuck about.
It was only to people who I thought I could confide in about things.
Yeah, but the thing is, bro, you weren't confiding. You were just shit talking. You weren't talking about concerns. You were just shitting on his character.
Yes.
You weren't like saying,
you know what I did?
I'm not going to deny that.
And here's the thing, Twiggy. I didn't even go run to Rastov with that shit because I thought it was complete bullshit what you were telling me.
And like I don't deny that.
That night on Rewind. Okay, you have been a manipulative little asshole for over a month now, and you just progressively got worse. And you know when it got worse? When you were IRL around Keemstar and you thought you were his golden boy.
I literally only actually talked to Keem like once. All I did was he told me to go do stuff with the cameras. I did it. There was no buddy thing there.
Hey, Rastov, you know Keem really trusts me. He gave me the keys to his new car.
No, I thought it was funny. Like that. I literally thought it was funny that he gave me the keys to his car. That was literally a joke. Like, you could take it out in whatever context you want, but that was literally a joke.
Bro, I got the context of all the goddamn DMs, and that was like a manipulative gangbang you were doing to Rastov in the DMs. Holy
well, I've not
telling him that he shouldn't go talk to Keemstar. And the sad thing is Rastov's coming to me. I'm like, listen, if you got an issue, you need to go to Keemstar. You're steady telling him, don't go to Keemstar.
No.
You know why you were telling him not to go to Keemstar? Because you knew you were full of shit.
Let me continue as well. It's like, you saying about how you could fire because you told me that as well. You told me that you had a conversation with Keem, and Keem said you could just fire him. And do you know what I said to you? I'll say what I said. I said, well, do it then. Because I said to you, you guys are clearly not working out. I said, if you have that power and you feel like that's the result, then do it. Get him gone. That's what I said. Because this whole like act of threatening on shit is just so childish and manipulative. Funny that, right? Like, it's so silly, dude. Like you literally had him in a chokehold and he didn't even know that there was nothing holding his neck. You can't literally sit here with chest and be like, only some things I did. Like, and then try to like backpedal on the rest. Like, no, dude, what you did was shit.
Now, look, Keem literally said that what I said was true, right? He just
He also
didn't
said you guys
remember.
laughed it off.
And
No, he came to
and
me
the
a
one
little
thing
while
Twiggy
after.
does, and the one thing that Twiggy does is he always forgets to mention that Keem said yes, it was really said, but there was context to it that was missing. You always seem to miss that part every time you retell this story.
Yeah.
No,
And
look,
can I also say,
you
if Keem
guys,
did
you
the
guys
same
can
with
put
me and
together
Grim,
dots. All right, that's fine.
If Keem said the same thing to me and Grim, do you know what I would do? I'd fight for Grim. Because even if we had a hell of a disagreement, if we had a massive fight, I wouldn't want to lose my co-host. That's my synergy. That's my brother. You know what I mean? Like, there's the difference, right?
And you
But, like,
had
a lot of
somebody
you
lined up already.
The only thing that I did when it came to Rastov, yes, I made things seem as, different than they may have been in reality. And a lot of that was me just being an idiot and taking something wrong, right? But there was some manipulation. Oops. I made things seem as, different than they may have been in reality. And a lot of that was me just being an idiot and taking something wrong, right? But there was some manipulation. Oops, right?
No, not oops. It was intentional. No, hold on. No. I got this. It's not oops. It was intentional. And it's either you take that as a man. All right, I'm not trying to virtue signal. I'm being dead ass. You take that as a man, take it as is, walk with it. You say that full chest. I manipulated.
Okay, I manipulated him.
You don't say oops, because here's the issue. Now you're just saying sorry because you were caught. That's the only issue.
Yeah. When it comes to the whole wife thing and being, handy capable, I didn't
Crippled,
believe
if
it
you
all
will.
the way. I didn't believe it all the way because it's Twiggy. He's just a wild card.
One of the smart ones, Pharaoh.
I didn't believe it all the way.
Whoa,
I didn't believe it all the way. I didn't believe it all the way.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Continue.
hold up,
Wait. Sorry.
hold up.
Continue to double down by calling your audience idiots. Yeah. Well done, mate.
Hold on. I
You
didn't
really
believe it all the
captivated
way.
your turn, bro.
I
For
didn't
real.
believe it all the
Another
way.
joke.
I didn't believe it all the way.
Not a
But
joke.
I knew that if he was actually lying about it, then there would be hell to pay when it got revealed.
I've been very
Twiggy.
upfront and forward about it. Did I not tell you this, Pharaoh, in the beginning, that my brain doesn't work. I'm a little different.
Nah, it's not about your brain.
I just want to know. I just want to know. And, it's probably tell a lot. Would you do it again? Say the joke.
Probably. It's not the only joke out there like that I've made. Like,
okay, would you do it again after doing this shit right now?
Here's the thing, right? It would have been I wouldn't have made up the joke, right? That I wouldn't have even thought about it. But it's like the time when Baja said that I lost my job because I hit an old lady with my work truck, right? That wasn't true. It was still talked about between us on the stream like it was true.
Do you care about the money? Do you care about having this job?
I mean, I care about the job, but I'm not necessarily doing it for the money.
Okay. Would you not
I'd
agree
love
that?
to.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Would you not agree that? Because this is what Keem wants, right? But this is a reality. If you want to keep your job, you have to show some value, and in this case, it's money, right? So you do have to care about the money whenever you are doing this job, right? Would you agree to that?
Yes.
Okay. So now I'm gonna ask you the same question Pharaoh asked you, but now with that being prefaced, would you do it again, knowing that you are going to lose your job?
I would have come out and talked about it immediately.
Sooner,
and
knowing
said
the
that this is something that's out there. Yeah. Of
Okay.
course.
Now,
I'm dumb, but I'm not retarded.
Right. So, assuming that there was a scenario where you didn't know the consequences, but you were fully aware that if you did something that cost, let's say, for example, the community to divide against you and refuse to donate to you ever again, right? It's not about being caught, right? Because it seems to be whenever you get caught, you just want to all right, cool. It is what it is, and I'm just going to continue doing what I do because that's what I believe in, right? That's not what I'm trying to get at. What I'm trying to get at is, if it really mattered to you, and you could lose your job or you could lose your relationship with Rastov, why would you do it again?
I mean, I probably wouldn't, because I would know, the thing is, right? It started before the there was even a thought of me ever being a host. It was a big Discord inside joke that ended up being brought up on the show by somebody. I don't even remember who. And I just played into it like it was the Discord, and I shouldn't have done that. But I did it, and now I've got to accept it. I let it go on too long. I did it. I got to accept it. But I can accept it while still thinking it's funny.
Oh, there's Twiggy.
What's up, Twiggy? Welcome to the show.
What's up? How you doing? I just wanted to come and say hello for one, and two, just to ask, how you are, what's up. I've been hearing all kinds of mixed things, but I've been asleep for 3 days, so I don't know what's true and what's not. So I just wanted to.
What kind of mixed things have you been hearing?
I've been told you've been dogging me, which I can see why.
I think I've been saying the same consistent thing. It's not really dogging. It's just more like I'm kind of just done working with you, I think you should be on a different show. I'll be on a different show. It'll be magic.
But that's not going to be as magical.
I know, but I can't. I'm not going back, bro. I'm not going back. The bridge is burned.
What do you want from me? How do I fix this?
You can't fix it. You literally can't fix it.
Nothing is impossible, Rastov. Nothing
is impossible.
It's not. It's not. Nothing is ever impossible. You've just got to have a little bit of faith.
No, I got faith in myself now.
Well, that's good. You have to have faith in yourself.
No. I had faith in you. I had faith in you, and now I lost faith in you, right? Because you burned me bad.
That wasn't me.
You burned me bad. No, it was, though. It was, though.
That wasn't me.
How do you think things started going bad on Aussie between both of you? Let's just start there. Rastov, I'll let you go first because you're the one that has the most complaints.
I think if I really look back on it, and I've done a lot of reflection on this, I think it started going poorly, kind of close to the start. But the thing is, like, I don't want to shit on Twiggy, man. I want my work to speak for why I should keep the channel, not because he can't do it, right? So,
okay, if you don't shit on him, you're gonna get fired. So speak honestly, speak the truth.
All right, I do think that he was trying a little too hard to be Keem, and I think that started with the way that he treated our Docket team.
Rastov said right before we took that little commercial break, he said something along the lines that things started getting bad early at the beginning of Aussie because he thought that Twiggy was trying to be Keemstar or something. But that doesn't make sense to me, Rastov. And here's why. Your channel quickly got up to $15,000 a month. And at $15,000 a month, that's a solidified show. That is how I say to myself, looking at it, okay, this show doesn't need to be messed with me at all. Obviously I need to help it and do what I can to help it, but this is a show. We don't need to fire anyone. We don't need to add anyone. We don't need to replace anyone. They're on to something good here. You were there. And you were there while
I'm just saying that was our first difference of opinion, right? Like that was the first time we really disagreed on something to do with the show, and that was how to treat the Docket team.
How to treat the Docket team. And when was that? Was that the first month? Second month?
It's been ongoing. Around either or both. It's been ongoing.
Twiggy, when was the first time you had a true conflict with Rastov where you thought, "Ooh, this might not work," or "This is going to be a problem that definitely needs to be fixed"?
I would say it was during his first crash out on the channel.
Just so we have an understanding, when was this crash out? Like how early in the process? Because the way I understand it, Aussie's been up and running for 3 months total, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
the only one I can really remember off the top of my head is two of them: the Boogie crash out and then the crash out at Fat Camp.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I got an important question to ask both of you. Twiggy, can you see a future of you and Aussie working together, or excuse me, you and Rastov working together on Aussie?
I mean, I can, but it's not really my decision, right? I'm willing to work with anybody.
I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Do you think you and Rastov could work together on Aussie and the show could be successful and you could get back to where you were?
Mm-hmm. I just think that I'd need to be a little more restrained. I'd need to hold myself accountable more, and I'd probably have to have people who also help hold me accountable. People who don't, who I guess can see through my antics or, if I get a little carried away, I may not even realize it. So I need to be more accountable. That's really it.
Rastov, do you see a way that you and Twiggy could work together and bring Aussie back to its glory days?
Nope, I'm done.
Oh. More details?
Literally just like this whole conversation, right? After the shit that he said to me this week about how he appreciates me and that, you know, if it comes down to it, he'll be the one that steps aside if he needs to because he wants me to succeed. And then the first thing he does is start just trying to rip down my character. Bro, I'm not walking around like checking for backstab wounds, man. Like I can't be asked. I just want to entertain people and make people laugh. And like I'm not having a whole other job of trying to worry about what my co-host is going to do to me. I'm just not about it. I'll go do my own thing. Like,
well, I already knew that was going to be your answer, and that's why the title is one of you's taking Aussie and one of you's getting fired. So now I guess it's your last pitch on why you should take over Aussie. Twiggy, go ahead. This is your last convincing statement to the audience, to me.
I mean, I don't want to seem like I feel entitled to anything because I don't, right? But I've been given a opportunity and I'm going to fight for it. I think that with some effort, with some time, I can find the part of me that's, entertaining. And it was there at one point. I mean, there has to be some kind of reason why I was put on a show in the first place. So the entertainment value, it's there. I've just lost it. I've become too in my head maybe, or I don't really know where it started. I don't know how to pinpoint it, but I'm willing to put in whatever amount of work I need to put in. I'm willing to do whatever I need to do, and I'm willing to work with whoever I need to work with. I just need to find my drive, find that motivation again. And it's just been kind of rough the past month to be motivated.
Rastov, what is your final pitch that you should take Aussie?
Because I've been consistent the whole time. I help out on other shows. I love the community. I'm a big part of the community. I'm never going to stop wanting to, even if you fired me today, right? I'm not going to stop being a part of the community. I'm not going to stop being a fan because that's why I was here in the first place. It's a dream of mine to be able to do this sort of thing in front of the people we do it in front of. And, I feel like I've been given something that people dream of. And I'm not going to stop, right? I love what we've built. I literally wake up in the morning and I look at the channel. The last thing I look at before, I put my phone down at the end of the day is the channel and the comments and all that sort of stuff. I love what I'm doing. And when you're passionate about something, it's easy, right? So.
Okay. It is time for me to make my decision. I've listened to the fans. I've listened to the Discord. I've listened to both of you. I've listened to the other hosts and their opinions on the situation. And I've taken everything into consideration. I've went on my way to learn as much about this conflict and how this fell apart as I could. And I believe I fully see the picture. Business-wise, it makes sense that Rastov takes over Aussie. It just makes sense. Everybody knows that. Twiggy, you know that. Rastov, you know that. The fans know that. However, I really don't like quitters. I don't like people that give up. I'm not one of these people that give up. You've seen me do a million projects that just are not going to succeed, and I just go and go and go and try to find the W. Twiggy is willing to work with Rastov and try to make this work. And Rastov, unfortunately, you've just given up. So with that being said, Twiggy, you also gave up. You gave up at Fat Camp, and you haven't been trying since.
Yeah.
So based on everything, Rastov, Aussie is yours.
Thank you. Jesus Christ.
Twiggy?
Twiggy, you're the weakest link.
I am.
Goodbye.
I am, Bookie. I am.
Twiggy,
you have been sent to purgatory, which is also known as gaming lolcow, with Glammy and Pharaoh. So if you guys want
purgatory,
if you guys want to see Twiggy, he will be on the gaming channel with Glammy and Pharaoh. Thank you, Twiggy.
Now would be a good time to get emotional. I think I should just let it all out.
Not if you're a sociopath. You know, you're fucking,
I can't.